not a woman. I've never been through this. I've never experienced this. However, I know women who've been, and the first thing they tell me is an experience like no other. It's traumatic. And the amount of resentment and hate you carry with you for that person is lifelong and it's immense. So her saying she has no resentment for Charleston White, even though she's claiming that Charleston White her when she was 11 years old, to me that's, I don't know, I'm not a woman, so I guess I can't judge. But when trying to figure out if somebody is credible or not, you got to read into everything. I'm reading into that. That don't quite make sense to me personally, to be honest. I'm very sensitive when it comes to accusations like this, especially from black women.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So I'm trying my hardest not to just call this woman an outright liar. I'm trying.
I was in disbelief when I seen Poetik Flakko take on this woman coming out and saying Charleston White did this when she was about 11 and 12 years old, and Charleston White was 19 and 20.
About 11 or 12. And we was in Miami house. Charleston had just came home from TYC. And I was getting out the shower or whatever. And he came in there fondling me.
He said he needed undeniable proof that this happened to her and Charleston White did it. But let me remind y'all, bro, and this is why I'm calling you out, Poetik Flakko. You didn't have undeniable proof to call Corey Holcomb a PDF. You took his jokes to make this accusation of him doing exactly this. But you didn't take the words of Charleston White and paint him as the same PDF that you painted Corey Holcomb as. I wonder why.
Corey Holcomb went on another podcast and he admitted to testing out the young women in Iceland.
You go to other countries, I'm just saying, in America, most people only know what they know in America, but I've been to other countries, and in Iceland, I think the legal age to get with a girl is 13 years old.
Oh my God.
Right, it blows people's mind when they hear it. But in Iceland, R. Kelly is not a criminal.
He's trying to get extradited.
He's a normal guy in Iceland. I went to Iceland, and you just can't offer him money and gifts. And I thought that was so unfair that you couldn't give him nothing after you was done with him.
This still crazy.
I'm not going to Iceland.
So I assume you've been to Iceland and you took advantage of the laws. Is that what you're saying?
I had a great time in Iceland.
Wait, we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there.
The age of consent in Iceland is 13. Did you take advantage of the laws in Iceland? Man, I had a great time in Iceland. You know, you just can't give them gifts afterwards. After you're done with them. You can't give them gifts because that will count as trafficking. So he full on admitted that he did what he did in Iceland. Full on admitted to it. Now, a lot of people point to, Corey Holcomb is joking, he's making a joke. But at what point do you teeter the line so much that we gotta say, I don't know, bruh. I don't know, son.
This is when I call you out, Poetik Flakko, because you being entirely hypocritical when it comes to this Charleston White situation. Now, we know Charleston White has said this.
Somebody said, say, man, this a video of you going around saying your 9-year-old cousin when you was 19. I said, so? Who give a getting talking about she was 40 years later? So what? So? I ain't never had one allegation. And I'm telling you, I ain't never had one allegation. And I ain't got one allegation. Not a one.
Ain't nobody said he done nothing. Ain't nobody said he done nothing.
About 11 or 12. And we was in Miami house. Charleston had just came home from TYC. And I was getting out the shower or whatever. And he came in there fondling me.
Saying I take this from women, I didn't took this before, is different from a comedian having a dark segue with inside a conversation. How you know it was a dark joke? Because you hear people laughing.
So I assume you've been to Iceland and you took advantage of the laws. Is that what you're saying?
I had a great time in Iceland.
Wait, we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there.
Now, there's a lot of things Corey Holcomb have said that I don't agree with, that I didn't think funny, but you can hear individuals in the background laughing. He a comedian. Charleston White is also a comedian. But you give grace to Charleston White when he say this.
I ain't never had one allegation. And I'm telling you, I ain't never had one allegation. And I done took.
But you vilify Corey Holcomb when he said the things that he said. You're not being fair around the board, homie. Hey, before we get back into the video, I'm giving a shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all purchasing the Black on Black Love t-shirts and also the Black on Black Love hoodies. I got the shirts and the hoodies in your kid size all the way up to 3XL. But you can get the hoodies and the shirt at 95way.com. There's gonna be a link pinned in the comments, or you can just click on the screen. But let's get back into this video.
You had no knowledge of what's going on whatsoever. You sat right there and you said out your mouth that you didn't even know if this was his cousin or not. What?
Charleston White probably has never met this woman, probably don't know this woman. It's probably nonsense.
Where have you been, bro? He said that wasn't his cousin.
I don't even know that girl. I don't know her. I ain't never seen her. I don't have no relatives with that last name. I swear to God.
But his mama did a Tasha K interview, and she cleared that up.
Her mother had a situation that I helped her mother with this girl's kids.
Where you been at? Then you sitting there playing parts of the video that you want to play. But I noticed you cut one part of the video out.
Thursday of November 1998, Charleston White signed a court order arrangement to now or anytime after the date above contact the victim, Shalandra Price.
Now, why would Flakko cut out that important piece of evidence? You know why? So he could say things like this.
Here's the thing. She's claiming that she was a child. In the state of Texas, there's no such thing as a statute of limitation. She could go down right now, at this moment, to the police station and file charges against Charleston White and start and launch an official investigation. Her choosing not to do that even presently and currently, I don't know. To me, that's a red flag as well.
Yeah, no, you're killing me. Yeah. Hey, shout out to OG Murder. His information is going to be in the description. But check this out. Now, she did mention about going down to the courthouse to get the documentation, and I had some pushback to say, if we can't go get that documentation, then I'll be questioning her story as well when it comes to the documentation. But she also did say something about Charleston White taking a plea deal. Now let's ask the white man's AI on a black woman's internet. If you take a plea deal, is it accessible to the public if that plea deal happened outside of court? If I accuse somebody of something, can they take a plea deal on my behalf if I don't want to press charges so it does not go to court?
I see what you're asking. So in most cases, a prosecutor has the discretion to decide whether or not to pursue charges, even if the victim or person affected doesn't want them to. So you can't just stop it entirely on your own. If you don't want charges, you should talk to a lawyer or the prosecutor's office. They might take your wishes into account, but they have the final say.
So it's possible a crime has happened, but if I take that route, it doesn't get publicly recorded. But do I have access to that information if I was the victim, but it's not publicly recorded?
Yeah, that's a really important distinction. Even if a case doesn't go through a public court record, like if charges are dropped or a deal is made, you as the victim typically still have the right to certain information. You can request records or reports from law enforcement or the prosecutor's office. They often keep internal records, even if the case doesn't go to court. I'd still talk to a lawyer to be sure you know your rights in your jurisdiction, though.
So even if we don't find the paperwork, do you think it's plausible that she actually did something about it, like she said when she had the paperwork? Now, she said you can go down to the courthouse and get the paperwork. Maybe we can't go down to the courthouse and get the paperwork, but she can because she was the victim. And her parents can because they was the guardian of the victim. Now, that's interesting.
In the state of Texas, there's no such thing as a statute of limitation. She could go down right now right now, right like at this moment, to the police station and file charges against Charleston White and start and launch an official investigation. Her choosing not to do that even presently and currently, I don't know. To me, that's a red flag as well.
All you did was watch what Charleston White said, and you repeated everything he said.
There's no statute of limitations on. I wouldn't give for mother touch your when it was 2,000 years ago. If you got a recollection of somebody touching your, you can still put them in jail.
So I'm assuming Charleston White is a friend of yours, or I'm assuming that you're trying to get Charleston White on your platform, or you just like Charleston White. We play favoritisms when it comes to this shit. I'm guilty of it. You feel me? I had to jump in and cut myself off. I'm not playing favoritism with a man that comes out and said he did X, Y, and Z to a child, and then that particular child at any age from adolescence to adult come out and say, yeah, he did this to me. There's no favoritism in that. But to go and say that this woman that is alleging Charleston White has done these things within a timeline, and you don't give Charleston White the same smoke you gave Corey Holcomb, is just disingenuous. Are you going to call out people with these allegations? See, you created the story through the clips of Corey Holcomb saying these things. In the 30 plus years, Corey Holcomb has not had any allegations of doing anything heinous to a child or a woman. But guess who do? Charleston White. So do y'all believe Poetik Flakko is just working too hard and he ain't got enough time to follow these stories? And since he's been accused of these particular things, he just have some type of a traumatic experience trying to protect his name, and he might be friends with Charleston White, so we do protect our friends. That's one thing we gonna do. But I'm just saying, one man got allegations, the other man told jokes, or maybe he didn't feel like Corey Holcomb was telling jokes. Maybe he felt like Corey Holcomb was making confessions. But Charleston White jokes or confessions are way more egregious than Corey Holcomb's. What do y'all think Poetik Flakko is thinking, and what y'all think about all this? Let me know.